Greetings. Today I want to speak to you on the subject of lustful lovemaking versus creative lovemaking. And the reason why I think that this subject is important to discuss it is because millions and millions of people all around the world have been scammed through the religious system and they don't even know it. Let me explain it for you. Most religious people believe that when they sign a piece of paper and they pay the governmental establishment some money, that they are going to involve in lovemaking without guilt and shame and judgment and condemnation. And they believe that they are doing it in a righteous way, not knowing they're actually doing it in a lustful way. Because, for example, if you was to do a survey, let's say let me say I was to do a survey in my country and I was to ask all the married people in my country what is the meaning of sex. Most of them wouldn't know. And if I was to ask them if they've been using the sexual energy creatively, innovatively, and using it to create their reality consciously, most people will definitely call me crazy. And those who've been duped or brainwashed by the religious ministers, they will say that I am involved in sex magic and that is of the devil. But yet, these are the same people who tell you that they believe in a man who existed 2,000 years ago and who turned water into wine. But that is not magic. That's miracles. And they will tell you he was at a wedding when he do that. Okay. And so, my brother and my sisters, I'm saying to you, based on my own experience, when I come to the knowledge of self, and I realize that true salvation is self-realization, it make a big difference in the art of lovemaking for me. I start practicing the act in a more deliberate, creative, innovative, and a more fulfilling way, without any guilt or any shame or any judgment or any condemnation or any false interpretation or belief concerning the act. So in short, I'm saying all religious and superstitious people, when they hop into bed, there's no way they could get rid of guilt and shame and judgment and condemnation, because their belief system is actually built on that. Because you cannot be a religious person or belong to some religious organization and you do not carry around judgment and condemnation, and you do not feel a certain way concerning the sacred energy exchange, because you were never taught that it is the most powerful energy that you can use to create your reality consciously. You were told that it's only when you do what the church says and you do not question anything and you just sign this contract with the government and you don't even know it and you live in that ignorance. They will convince you and make you believe that you're really into good love making when it is basically lustful love making, because almost 100% of religious people who are married, they only have sex for pleasure. So it's been done out of just lust alone, just for pleasure. Okay. But those of us who are spiritual and self-realized and self-actualized, we know how to use the energy creatively. We know how to use the energy to create our reality consciously. We know how to set our mind on the things that we desire in this world, and how to command, okay, that which we desire with the sexual desire, and send it out into the ether, understanding the inner science of alchemy, and how to create our real and how to create our reality consciously. So, my brother, my sisters, ask yourself if you have the right concept about sex and love making before you get involved in it. And if you still have a religious and a superstitious mentality, and you still believe that there's some outside entity that's gonna one day come to save you and deliver you, and you believe that there was a man and a woman in a literal garden, and you believe they were put together by God, yet God is invisible. Okay. If you do not have enough common sense to realize that it is an invisible union and it is chemistry taking place when you're involved in the act, then you wouldn't know that real union and marriage, it takes place in the bed. That's why even the Bible tells you that marriage, which is union, the invisible union I'm talking about, it is honorable. He put you in an honorable place, and it help you to live an honorable life. And you will be undefiled. The bed will be undefiled because why? You have the right concept of union, the right concept of marriage, the right concept of love making. Because you first love yourself, you first believe in yourself, and you first embrace yourself. It is impossible for you not to love and believe and embrace yourself and to make the right kind of love making. It is impossible, quite impossible. So really and truly, the religious people are the ones who are having, sex just out of pure lust. Okay? Because they're doing it for society. They're doing it because of conformity. They're doing it because everyone else is doing it. And they don't want to be branded by society. Okay? But when you know exactly who you are, and you know the power that you possess, and your 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 um partner, okay, or your significant other, when that person knows the same thing like you and you all come together, is the most powerful thing that can happen. So, in short, I'm saying to you, you have to make love with a purpose. And the purpose must always be to live the best version of your life on this planet. And also let your light shine before the world and that the world will see. So you make an impact upon your generation. And you can touch the lives of people all over the world and teach them how to win in life, because you are a winner. So, in short, I want to say to you, I've had my experience in Christianity, secular Christianity, that is pointing me to look outwardly. So I had my experience in religion, and then I had my experience out of religion. So I make love, okay, when I was in religion to women, and I make love to women when I was out of religion, and I could tell you the big difference. Okay? And so when you are free, it is because you know your true identity is your divinity. When you are free, it is because that you know that you are divine. Just today I met a priest. Okay, it was two of them. One just in all white and one just in all black. Okay, and I asked them if Jesus used to have erection just like me and them, and if he used to get wet dream. they're not gonna answer straight on. Okay. They say, well, he was 100% human and he was 100% divine. So I say, so are you 100% human and 100% divine? They say, no, they're human but they're not divine. I say, what about if you're just having a human experience? Because you say human come from the word humus have to do with the earth, okay, the soil. I say dirt don't talk. So I say the power that is speaking to me right now, that power will continue to live when they have to take this humus that you're talking about and put it down in the grave. Okay. So then he turned around and asked me if I do not believe in the resurrection. I said, well, the Bible states that the soft part between a man thigh it normally shrinks. And then it would erect again. Okay. Because you see, that is to show us the process of death, burial, and resurrection. Okay. And so when you look at the physical, in the physical realm, you see death, burial, and resurrection in our sex life, then you see it in the plant life. Unless a kind of wheat fall in the ground, die, abide it alone, but if it die, bring forth much fruit. Okay, and this is how we multiply and bring forth too, okay? And in the spiritual realm, you have to die to have this human experience here. So the process of death, burial, and resurrection is always taking place. And so for you to really find your divine self here in this physical realm, you have to die also to your ego self. You have to die to this physical world to experience the non-physical world. Okay? And then that's when you would know that the virgin birth and the resurrection and all of those things are basically one event. Okay? And you would want to experience that event. And then you will understand, okay, that love making is basically a business. It's a business of giving and receiving. Just like an inhalation and an exhalation. All business transaction is based on giving and receiving. And the political system knows it. That's why they're receiving from you. They're collecting from you. Because they make a business out of marriage. They make a business out of even your death, funeral. And even our birth with the birth people. So from your birth, they take it and make a business out of it. You understand? And they know sex sells too and so on. They give us pornography industry and so on. I could go into so much thing just to show you how corrupt religion is. And how religious people are the ones who are having, sinful, lustful, ignorant sex. Because sin is ignorance. Okay. Ignorance of not knowing who you are. And so they just go about this thing and just get caught up in the feeling and the emotion and they get married to feel justified when they're still in deep delusion and in a deep sleep. But when you wake up, man, when you partake in this act, okay, you know how to focus, you know how to center your mind and the things you desire. You know how to be grateful. You understand? To enjoy such a pleasure and use that pleasure to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, brother and my sister, I can go on and on and on and on. Okay, I'm having a lot of fun doing this video. Okay, but I want to come to a close and I want to thank you very much for listening to me. I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you listen to me, what I'm saying, if it really makes sense to you, if it really resonates with you and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this video. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, if you'd like to follow me on TikTok, you can definitely follow me at BlackMadGuru. If you'd like to get my books, all of the links are down in the description. I have about 10 or more books to choose from. Also, if you want to become a part of my Patreon community, you're most welcome. I have a course there that's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to create your reality consciousness. And along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. Also, if you want to be part of my Free Thinkers and Seekers University, feel free. Okay? And I have the honey sexual breeding, there for you also that you can use. And I try my best every week to at least post a master class here to help you in your spiritual journey. So my last encouragement to you is to make sure that you check out all of the links that are down below, and definitely let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace, love you all, out.